Dr. Lana DeGrassa here, president of Turning on the Lights Global Institute. Today is December 26th, 2024, and I want to thank you for being a part of this podcast and blog, the Upgrade My Life and Biz podcast and blog. And I am super excited. You know, last week we had the opportunity to think about what it means to face our authentic self from my book, Tomorrow Can't Wait. And today, you know, as we think about the year and everything we've experienced, I just want you to know that you are truly beautiful. And ladies, those of you who are mature, those of you in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, and up, I want you to know that you're still beautiful. You know, I was inspired by something I was watching the other day, and it was this woman who used to be into entertainment, and she loved dancing. And then as time went on, she focused more on her family. And so they asked her, you know, what changed for you? And she said, well, I just let myself go because I figured now I'm in this new chapter. But she was someone who still loved to dance. She was someone who still loved to be vibrant in all of the things that she's up to. She just didn't know how to get that going again. And so they took time to help her find her way. And she just lit up as they reminded her that she was absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to read this poem from my book, Chronicles of a Poet. And it says, Bonita. Bonita, you are beautiful, no matter what anyone says. I hear you cry. I hear you sigh. I know you want to be okay. And nothing can hold you back from meeting destiny. Nothing can hold you down. I hear your cry. I hear your sigh. I hear all the naysayers have been picking on you. But this is your time to own your life. This is your time, your season to be strong. I hear you cry. I hear you sigh. This is the moment to live your destiny. You are all that you need to make your life better. You are all that you need to make your life strong. Wow. Chronicles of a Poet. And sometimes as we age, we just think, well, I'm not that attractive anymore. And this is really important because we know that research shows that this age of being in the late 30s, all the Gen Xers and above, we sometimes can suffer with depression, self-doubt, self-esteem issues. And that plays a big role in how we actually function on the job, on how we function in our relationships. If we're married, our partners, you know, you name it. So I want y'all to get your swag back. And I can't wait because in 2025, we always, every year around Valentine's month, we always do something to help women get their swag back, to build your confidence, to know that you're enough. And I highly recommend that you stay plugged in on Thursdays because I'll be dropping a new video every Thursday, but also get ready to be activated. I always say, if you can't invest financially, invest in time with yourself. When I first started even my own business, I remember that, you know, I just invested my time in going to the library, and I would sit up in that library sometimes 3 hours on a Saturday, sometimes 6 hours on a Saturday, because I still was balancing multiple gigs that I had at different universities. So I had a pretty crazy schedule, but I always tried to make time on the weekends where I could like say, okay, I'm going to pocket, you know, 2 or 3 hours, or I'm going to do this and that. So I want you to know that you can't just desire change because you think you should have it. And sometimes too, when I'm talking to really high-powered leaders and I ask them, what do you want next year to look like? And they start telling me this big, audacious plan that they're going to accomplish. You know, they're going to start an institute. They're going to write 2 books. They're going to, you know, create a certification program, and they're going to do all of this in 9 months, and they're going to do it all well. And I hate to tell you, dreaming and vision boards, these are really exciting aspects of planning and ideation to have, but let's just avoid all the burnout. And let me help you. You don't have to pay me to tell you that if you want to do something well, first get to the foundation of your why, of why you want to do it in the first place. What is the core thing that you really, 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 really are connected to no matter what? Like I knew in this business, no matter what, it was really important to me that high powered leaders didn't wait until tomorrow to do what they really love to do. That was going to be really important for me. The other thing that was really important for me was to have fun. So I have to find a way to dance. I have to be able to share my arts. Nothing's going to stop that. And you have to have that core why so that you're not all over the place. And that why might shift, that why might change a little bit. But usually when you really are passionate about something, there's an element of there that just an element of that that doesn't change. Like most teachers, doesn't matter how many schools they taught at, or trainers and developers, most it doesn't really matter, they just love giving, they love serving others, they love seeing the light bulb turn on for somebody, and that is kind of like the driving force behind why they continuously do what they do on a day-to-day basis. So one of the things that's difficult though with that in mind is that sometimes we may have felt like we didn't do enough, and so even if we did complete a couple of things, we still look and go, oh, that wasn't enough. Well, then you have to go back and say, well, when you think about what you hoped that year was supposed to look like, what did you really want to have happen? If you were an author and you wanted to sell more books, can you look at your calendar and see where you made the time to make that happen? If you wanted to launch your own inner tribe or something, where on the calendar did you allow that to be prepared? Because no matter what, when you sign up to a coaching program or a training series or a masterclass, those leaders and people guiding you through their solutions, they created that with the hopes that you would then take that material, learn from it, and then execute in your own way. And sometimes we look at it and say, oh, well, that didn't work. I went through the 7-step program and it didn't happen for me. I can look at tons of wellness programs that I signed up for, apps I've got on my phone that do work. Now, can I look at it and say I did or utilize all the tools? Probably not, right? So I have to be able to measure where my expectations are and what I'm willing to do with the time I have so that I can realistically see those outcomes. Sometimes we just don't want to hear it. Well, you just didn't put in the time, right? I had plenty of times where I had students who said, well, how could you give me a C grade? And I'm like, well, look at it. Would you look at what you have submitted? Did you really take the time to integrate all of these elements and applied learning that we've had in this particular course? So usually in most cases, a student can look and say, oh, I realize, okay, I probably could have taken more time to do X, Y, and Z. And so we know ourselves best. That's why that whole question of are you willing to face your authentic self is really easier said than done, because sometimes we'd rather have an image of ourselves that we want people to see of us, but realistically, if we were to look at what we've actually contributed to a given thing, we can see, oh, that's where I fell short. So I just want you to know it is absolutely okay, because we started out with me reading this poem called Bonita and talking about how you have all you need within you. Of course, you need people to support you, and of course, you need people as examples and mentors. But at the end of the day, the beauty that you have within, the love and passion you have for the things that you're doing, also is exuded by you. And so if you are waiting for that validation from other people, even your other coaches, sometimes the biggest and best thing you can do is love yourself as you are building and growing where you're trying to be in 2025. And just know, whatever I really want to show up in, ask yourself, am I really taking the time to do it? It's almost like, when you think about someone getting married or a bride really wanting to get her groom excited, she doesn't just roll out of bed and just go meet him at the altar. There's all the preparation that goes into that day being so special, from everything from the countdown to getting all the bridesmaids together to getting the proper makeup and the dress fitted. And there's all of these steps that have to happen in order for that day to go well. And it's the same thing about you feeling just as beautiful today, but even more beautiful in 2025 when it comes to you feeling like you're attaining the goals that you're setting out. So today, I want to thank you for reminding yourself that you are worthy of an upgrade and also that you are beautiful and you have everything you need to move forward. And one of the things that you can do is, and when you look at your year, it's kind of like I always say, pull out the calendar and work backwards. What are the top 3 outcomes you hope to have in 2025? Right. So if you were to think, oh, I want to sell more books, or I want to have more speaking engagements, or I want to feel more confident, then make time in your calendar every single month for 12 months where you can actually see that you did that activity. And now you can measure it by looking at the outcomes. As my clients know, it's actions, intentions, and outcomes. Without understanding your intentions about a given action, you will have fuzzy outcomes. But when you're very clear about what you want to see happening, you're more likely to see those outcomes because, and the more specific you are, the better. So if you're not in a community, I highly recommend that you come to one of our IWBCC pop-up meetings. That's really a great place where you can meet me virtually. You can tap into one of the All Tribe meetings that we have for new individuals, and they happen weekly. I'll make sure to share the link below so you can sign up and also complete a Spark assessment. We would love to learn about your business, learn about your goals that you have this year, and don't be a stranger. Let me know how you're enjoying the series. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.